This is the R-square double engine for India today. The Aam Aadmi Party wanted a double engine, Rajdeep, in Delhi, and they've got one. You've seen the big ticket numbers. What we'll do over the next 2 hours is give you a very minute, granular sense of why Delhi voted the way it did and what might happen if assembly elections were held just now. Some fascinating number crunching coming up on the show this evening.
Okay, Rahul's going to do those number crunching. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party has won, but sometimes even when you win, you have to look at just exactly how you won. The BJP has lost, but can the BJP clutch on to something even in their loss? And what of the Congress party? Pradeep Gupta, our pollster extraordinaire from Axis My India, is with us. But first, Rahul, you want to tell us the big picture.
So let's take our viewers through why Delhi voted the way it did. Remember, 73 lakh votes were cast. There were about 28,000 odd votes in every ward. So it's a tough poll to call. This is the overall big picture. AAP at 134, 126 is what they needed. So they're comfortably placed, relatively speaking, unless BJP makes a grab and tries to break some of these AAP MLAs away, these Parshads away. The BJP at 104 in a respectable triple-digit figure. That's the overall seat share at the end of the day. Let's look at how things have moved between the last assembly elections and now. 2020 February was the assembly election in Delhi. From there, the Aam Aadmi Party's vote share has come down by 12, from 54 to 42. The BJP's vote share has moved from 41 to 39. The big change, and we'll talk a bit about this, is the Congress's vote share going up from a pathetic 5% to a low but not as pathetic 12%, a 7% increase. And this 7% change in the Congress's vote share is why the AAP didn't do as well as they would have hoped for. Why did AAP lose about 12% vote share? How did Congress gain this 7% vote share? Let's try and drive straight into it. And the big factor here really is the fact that Muslim votes have gravitated away from AAP and gone back to some extent to the Congress. And this really is one of the biggest stories of these MCD elections. The fact that Muslim vote for the Aam Aadmi Party has now come down to 53, which is about 14% down from the last elections. The Congress's Muslim vote share has actually gone up to about 30, which again is a gain of about 13%. So the fact that you've got the Aam Aadmi Party losing about 14% of its Muslim votes and the Congress gaining 13% Muslim votes is very important, because remember, Kejriwal was playing this double game, Lakshmi and Ganesh, on currency notes, not taking an open position on the Delhi riots, on issues like Bilkis Bano. That seems to have hurt. And this also plays out when you see the 3 Lok Sabha constituencies where Muslims are present in big numbers. So if I look at what happened in those 3 Lok Sabha constituencies, which is Northeast Delhi, where the Muslim population is about 23%, Chandni Chowk of Harshvardhan, where the Muslim population is about 30%, and Gautam Gambhir's East Delhi, where the Muslim population is 15%. In these seats, you've got the BJP actually ahead of AAP. So BJP has 21 wards out of 41 in Northeast Delhi, 16 wards out of 30 in Chandni Chowk, 22 wards out of 36 in East Delhi. So Rajdeep, this whole idea that somehow Kejriwal thought he could hunt with, run with the hare and hunt with the hound, Muslim voters are telling us you can't be so ideologically flexible.
Look, I think you've got to recognize the fact that as Arvind Kejriwal tries to expand beyond Delhi and moves to other states, he tries to fashion his agenda to suit the politics of that state. So as he moved from Delhi to having national ambitions, he, as we've seen particularly in the case of Gujarat, has tried to in a way also capture a section of the BJP's Hindutva vote. And thereby Arvind Kejriwal's Muslim vote, which perhaps he took for granted in Delhi, has to some extent shifted from him. Not altogether. He's still getting 53%, still getting more than half of it. But the 2020 Delhi riots in northeast of Delhi, the CA agitation that took place, anti-CA agitation in the national capital, and Mr. Kejriwal's ambiguous stand on that, somewhere down the line, Mr. Kejriwal has tried to have a delicate balancing act. And sometimes when you try that, you can fall off. Now, he hasn't fallen off entirely because he still gets 53%.
No, but he's taking these Muslim voters, Pradeep, for granted in some senses. He's assuming that Dalits and Muslims are his now, regardless of whether he stands up and speaks for them.
So it's Muslim for sure, and also lower section of the society, because Kejriwal has positioned himself as a politics of development, and the moment he tried to shift the positioning towards the Hindutva, he lost big number of 12 percentage points from 54 to 42 this time. That is a very big fall in 2 years' time.
Rajdeep, Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal will need to decide where they stand on these issues. You can't assume that the minority vote is yours if you don't stand, if the minority voter doesn't see you standing up for him.
Absolutely, Rahul, but I will still say that at the end of the day, he has won this election.
Oh, sure.
You know, he has defeated...
If you look at the vote share percentage in comparison with 2020 Assembly, which is the closest comparative, his vote share is down more than 10%.